So am I wasting my time doing work on this brand new Lasernut? I don't think so. Putting a game changer fan in it, I think is just going to give it more security. Down on the deck right here, we've got a drill bit. We got some nylock nuts, a couple of long reach bolts, some black RTV Ultra Seal. Got two game changer fans. We got one with a screen, one without. So today on RC Guy Garage, obviously you can see, or you can kind of figure out what we're working on, is we are working on the Lasernut. And what I'm intending to address is right off, out of the box, I'm leaving it stock, except for I'm making one, I feel, not really a major modification, but I'm going to make a minor modification to the vehicle for peace of mind. I'm going to throw a game changer fan in it. So I've already mocked up and kind of like searched out locations. Initially I thought maybe I could put a fan in the back here, but then I realized that there's really no airflow. I mean, it gets plenty of airflow up here and I could cut one of those things out, but then I realized that I could do a more stealth installation. And that's kind of what I'm interested in. So my reason for putting a game changer fan into the Losi Lasernut is because of the DB Pro. The DB Pro, my DB Pro suffered kind of some motor heat issues, but that's only because I was beating on it. My DB Pro is mildly modified, meaning I have Traxxas tires and wheels, along with Hobao Hexes to space out the wheel just that much more. And with all the time that I've actually spent working on that DB Pro, I feel that the Lasernut will be able to benefit from what I've learned driving this vehicle right here and making, hopefully, that one maybe a slightly better performer than this one. Now, if that's the case, that would probably be pretty amazing. So anyways, if you're interested in watching this episode from RC Guy Garage, like I always say, you know what to do. Let's just get into the video. So when we pop the top here, the only thing I'm finding, I'm not liking these little leg things here, because if you forget to like push those back when you flip the top back, it has a tendency to kind of like lock up. I took this game changer fan and I was kind of fitting it into locations. Now, on my EXB, I have my fan mounted like this, but I'm actually a little bit away from the motor. But with the way that this sets in here, with the way this wiring is, and granted I can move all this, but there's really no sense. So I placed the fan in this position, and then I realized after turning it on, kind of half of the blades are actually touching along that side of the motor, which in some ways is really not that big of a deal, but then again, it kind of really is, because we're only getting half of the amount of airflow pumping out of this fan. So after I pulled the fan out, I had it in here, running it on 2 and 3 and 4S. This time I'm actually only going to run it on 3S. And I'll explain why. I started kind of like mocking it up in locations. I thought maybe I could put it here, but then I realized that if I put it there, it's actually cooling right here, which doesn't make any sense because the motor's over here. I realized pretty quickly that I could actually take the fan motor, and granted, I'm just going to show you this way. I can take the fan motor and I can inset it right into that section right there. And then the other thing that came along was finding screws that were actually going to be long enough. Now, I have these screws, but they just don't stick out far enough for the nylock to grab. So, what I decided is instead of using this chrome fan, I'm going to go with one of my Game Changer white fans. Now, when I take the screw and place it into the hole, we have plenty of meat to grab onto. Not only can we put washers, so we can put a washer on there, and we can put a washer on that side, we can also put a washer on the back side, which you can see it's actually a stepped situation. So this is actually going to work absolutely beautiful. Now these are hinge pin screws that I had extras from another vehicle or another project. I do need to get my Game Changer stickers on there, but I realized, like I said, pretty quickly that the fan actually will sit right inside of this little portion of a cradle. Just like that. And it fits absolutely perfectly. I mean, look at that. I don't think I could get it any better than that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape it up. Now, what I had done is I did some like airflow scenarios, basically mock this up. So I'll tape it in place. I'll drill 2 holes. The 2 holes are actually going to go through here and here, and then I should be able to have no issue in mounting this fan. So we're just going to give it a shot, and it's going to drag you along. So I already got a drill bit all ready to go. Again, we're using a fan without a grill, but that really doesn't matter because the way the fan is blowing air anyway is it's blowing it this way. So it's sucking it from this portion and blowing it out this back side. So once I place that fan in that position, depending upon how I want my wiring, which will most likely be facing down or maybe going this way, looks like I'll actually do it that way. So I'll go to the side like that. So I basically just want to tape that in place, and I'm going to take my drill bit and drill a couple holes into, I guess it's the cockpit of that vehicle. I'm just going to take some masking tape just so I can place the fan into position. Really not going to matter, in a sense, how I do this. So what I'll do is I'll place the tape over the fan first. See, it's always when you're trying to do something on camera. So just place the tape like that. I'll place it in its location that I'm going to want it in. Something like that. And bring that down. Like so. So I'm just going to kind of hold that into place. And I want to make sure that this is straight. So right about there, I think I'm good. One hole. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a screw and I'm going to lock that into position right now. I should be able to thread it in just by using the threads that are actually on the screw. Just thread it right through the plastic. And I just want to make sure that I position it how I want it. Effectively just like that. I think I'm there. Close here, I'm trying to show stuff. I'm not even showing stuff. God, the camera's actually in the way. Yeah. This is when it doesn't work. The camera's in the way. I gotta get the camera out of here. This is not gonna work with the camera there. What it's gonna do is gonna drive me insane. Alright, that's better. Isn't that funny how that works like that? Now I should be able to thread this one in. Slide it into the hole, which I think I am. Take the tape off, see how it looks. Looks like it's pretty good. Once you get in there, and you see the bolts actually sticking through that section of plastic, and all I need to do now is just get a nylock on there. Oh my god. The way the camera works sometimes. Just can't get it into the position that I want without being in the way. Alright, I think it's like that. So you can see it's actually sticking through right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm now just going to put a nylock on it. So I'm going to take this roof panel off. It looks like it's only 1, 2, 3, 4 screws just to pop that off, so I can access the top and get my last nylock bolt into place. I think that should be it. Alright, so we can see I've got my nylock right there. And what I want to do, or I've got my bolt right there, not my nylock. And I want to put my nut onto that area, which this is where it gets a little tight here. Trying to fit that on there. I might have to do is just squeeze the plastic just a touch, I think, right in that area where the bolt is. Just like that, just to give it a bit of an impression. Now, I think, tip this top up, and then I'm going to attempt to screw it down and in by holding it with my pliers like that. Yeah, gone forever. It's not really a science here. It's just kind of getting it done. Basically, it should be effectively hidden once I'm done here. I'll use my extra long reach needle nose to get in there. I think, is that it? Oh, it's a little crooked. There we go. So I'll just tighten it down. I'll check the other one. Make sure that one's all set. Now, that should go nowhere. So now the way that the fan is installed, you can see it's actually installed in that pocket right there. And what I can do is I can fire it up real quick with a little 3S Lipo that I run wherever the heck it is. Yeah, here it is. I am going to put a 3S balance plug on this. I'm going to keep the length of wire because it's going to work out really well. But don't forget to plug in black to black. This is going 3S. So there's four wires, red to red. And there we go. Yeah. Now, you could I don't know if you can catch the wind, but that thing is pumping. That's only set on 3S. So that is definitely going to be able to keep. Yeah, that is perfect. Check this out. That's going to be mumped. Look at that. That's beautiful. Oh, I'm liking that. Perfect. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take a bead of silicone and I put a bead of silicone right along that edge right there. To get in there. Right along that top edge right there. I'm going to put basically where the contact points are. See how it's contacting right there and then right over here. I'm going to put the black RTV right in those areas. Focus out or whatever it is, zoom out. I'm going to put this RTV in that location just to kind of keep it, try to keep it adhered. Boy, that tire is kind of actually really in the way, man. See, forgetting the grasshopper leg things there. That's something that's bugging me about this car is the way that these little leg things kind of like fold forward, and you gotta like pump them back. You gotta push them backwards. So, but it's just a, I guess a learning scenario. So I'm just gonna pop this tire off real quick, just so I can get the vehicle to hopefully lay more flat. If it will, and it probably won't. It kind of did. Kind of put it up against the thing right there. Use my drill. And that way you can see what I'm talking about here. Basically just going to put silicone right there. This is actually going to work out mint. Wire's going in a good position. I could probably even put a zip tie right along that little sway bar link right there, that sway bar itself. But I'm going to put a bead of silicone there and there just to keep the front part of this from going anywhere. So we're basically just going to go like this. Smear it right like that. Do the same thing over here. Give it a little smear. Just like that. And that should be fine. I think I'll be happy with that. Yeah, that'll be nice. Good enough. Put the fan on and I can super dry it really fast by putting the fan on. Remember, wear glove, wear glove, wear glove, wear glove, wear glove. For easier cleanup. And you won't get all this Proposition 65 stuff all over you. Whatever the heck that's supposed to be. So let's see what happens if I plug this in now. It'll cool it super fast. Yeah, that's gotta be mint. I like it. Oh, that thing sounds like an animal. Alright, so that's it. Game changer fan installed. All I have to do now is solder up a connector on here, and I can do that like right now. We'll pop the top, put the spare tire back on, that way it just doesn't allow the top to flip too far over. And I'm really not going to need much of a wire length, because when I position the battery in here, right? So depending upon what pack I go with, obviously not this pack, because what I'm doing is I've got this nice Power Hobby 100C 7200 pack that this thing is going to be running on 4S. So that 4S pack obviously goes in like this, and I literally just need a connector end. And I've got this little connector. This is a 3S little connector end. And even though I'm going to run it on a 4S pack, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break out the one side so that I can actually plug in the 3S into a 4S or a 3S. All right, so see how it just plugs in like that? So what I'm doing is I'm going to end up snipping or breaking out just this corner right here. All right, so even though I'm like organized, I'm technically not. So I'm going to break out the positive side here just by reaching this in. Sorry, the negative side. Just going to basically just reach right in with my needle nose and rip off basically that end section right there. Just like that. Just want to make sure that that whole piece is completely gone. So pretty much just like something like that. And then what I'm going to do is now I can snip this to whatever length I want. Snip it to, I guess, totally using the wrong tools here. Even though I'm organized, now I'm not. Things are worse now that I clean things up. Whatever. I got 2 snips and I can't even find the 2 snips that I'm looking for. So obviously this is the end that we want. So I'm basically just going to snip it just like that. Okay? Then I can reach in and pull out the 2 center pins because we're going on 3S. Basically just pull the pins right out. 1 pin. Make sure you're only grabbing 1 pin. 2 pins, and there you go. So now both of those pins are out. Want to make sure that these pins are settled in place. And then I'm going to strip these ends, and I am going to basically solder them up to the game changer end. Now these ends are tinned, but I don't like tinned ends, so I am going to just snip off the ends, just like that. I'm going to strip them back, about the same amount, if it will strip. Give these a twist. Then I am going to grab heat shrink, slide it over, slide that one in. It's getting stuck. And remember, red to red. Forgetting the other heat shrink. That was close. Just going to slide on single heat shrink on the red, single heat shrink on the black. Oh, it's a different size. Let's try. Alrighty. Well, you know what? I suppose it's not going to make a difference. Can't seem to find the other one. So just put it like that. Now, red to red, black to black. Just like that should be good. Wire holder. Basically just clamp the wires into position. Something like that maybe. That should work. A little bit of solder, bit of paste. God, it's not even in frame. Man, what a mess. See if I can get you in there. A little bit of paste. A little bit of paste. A lot of paste. Whoops. It'll all burn off. What I like about this soldering gun is it heats up super fast. Boom. That's it. That was actually a little extra solder. Boy, I got a habit of putting things away lately. Kinda. Now I'm just gonna heat up the shrink wrap. Make sure it's pretty straight. Looks pretty good. The reason why I try to make sure it's straight is because as the heat shrink shrinks and cools, it has a tendency to keep a shape. So I'll try to like keep things, you know, in line like that. And it won't make a difference because there's only one way you can plug this in. So positive, negative, it's not going to make a difference that I've got that like that right now anyway. So I think we're good. Shot myself in the foot again. That's what they call it. So what happens is the heat shrink that I'm using, because I'm doubling up heat shrink, just making it a little bit more difficult for myself when I do this. But you can take the long nose, needle nose here, and basically stretch the heat shrink so it will fit. So I'm not gonna record me doing that. Basically like that, and then I will reshrink this portion. Would like to have gotten it a little bit tighter, but it's close enough. That is basically it. Game changer fans installed. Or game changer fan. Alright, so there we go. Game changer fan installed with its little plug here. I am going to toss the Power Hobby battery in here right now. So I can check my wiring just to make sure that everything's all set. I know it is, but Power Hobby battery actually fits in there absolutely perfect. Look at that. Can't get any better. That's mint. So this will obviously connect up to here. Game changer fan, when I'm ready, will plug right into this port right here. There we go. The air that thing is blowing. Love it. Oh, yeah. That's nice. I like it. You know what I could do, too? Is I could actually vent. I could put a couple of holes in the guy, but I like the idea of it being set up just like this. That's nice. That thing could probably run on 2S if I wanted. And all I'd have to do is just basically pop a pin out and slide it over. And I could basically get it to run. The wind coming out of there. Look at this. So see how it's going? Try to get you in here. See what I'm talking about. See where that fan is lined up? Lined up exactly where the motor is. You couldn't get that any better than that. Look at that. That is literally right on top of the motor. Oh, I like it. Mint. That's what they call mint right there. All right. Good enough. Now I'll put the top on. We'll disconnect our fan. Listen, whoa! Thing spools. Perfect. Now we can put our top back on and basically be done. Take this thing out for a rip today. We'll be able to use our SkyRC performance analyzer. That should actually be pretty cool. This will be the first time that I use this. All right. Well, I'm not gonna keep you on here while I screw a top on. So, anyways, if you like this episode from RC Guy Garage, like I always talk about, you point blank know what to do. Now get out there and rip it and throw those game changer fans in there to keep everything nice and cool. A little bit of a bonus. See how those holes are a pretty good size, or at least the indent is a pretty good size indent. And obviously, when you put the bolt in, it really doesn't have much of a head to grab onto. So what I'm doing is I'm doing that scenario right there. So I'm putting a washer in like that, just like a body washer. And I feel that will help protect the top a little bit better than just a bolt going through the Lexan. At least it'll have a nice surface to, I guess, grab onto. So, yeah, you could just call that a pro tip. So there we go. Much better. Such a simple thing to do, but I feel it'll help. Wow. I literally need all the brake. Oh my God.